Hello and welcome to this video about how Big Tobacco pushed tobacco onto pregnant women and people in general, and the effect tobacco and nicotine has had on society. For decades, the tobacco industry has used aggressive marketing tactics to sell their products, often targeting vulnerable populations like pregnant women. In this video, we will explore how Big Tobacco has influenced the use of tobacco and nicotine, and the impact it has had on public health. To understand how Big Tobacco has pushed their products onto society, we need to go back to the early days of the industry. Tobacco has been used for thousands of years, but it wasn't until the late 1800s that mass production and advertising began. The first cigarette-making machine was patented in 1881, and by the early 1900s, cigarettes had become the most popular form of tobacco use. As the popularity of cigarettes grew, so did concerns about the health effects of tobacco use. In the 1950s, studies began to emerge linking smoking to lung cancer and other health problems. Despite this, the tobacco industry continued to deny any harmful effects of tobacco and even promoted cigarettes as healthy and refreshing. One of the most effective marketing tactics of Big Tobacco has been the use of targeted advertising. For years, the industry has targeted vulnerable populations like young people, minorities, and pregnant women. In the case of pregnant women, tobacco companies have long known that smoking during pregnancy can cause harm to both the mother and the developing fetus. However, they still marketed their products to pregnant women through advertisements and even distributing free samples to maternity wards. Tobacco companies have also used other tactics to promote their products, such as sponsoring events and sports teams, and offering promotional items like hats and t-shirts with their logos. This has helped to create a culture where smoking is seen as cool and trendy, rather than a dangerous and addictive habit. Despite decades of research linking tobacco use to various health problems, millions of people around the world still use tobacco products. Tobacco contains many harmful chemicals, including nicotine, which is highly addictive. Nicotine addiction can be very difficult to overcome and can have serious consequences for health and well-being. Tobacco use has been linked to a wide range of health problems, including lung cancer, heart disease, stroke, and respiratory problems. In addition, tobacco use during pregnancy can lead to low birth weight, premature birth, and even infant death. The economic costs of tobacco use are also staggering, with billions of dollars spent each year on healthcare costs and lost productivity. In recent years, there have been many efforts to combat the influence of Big Tobacco and reduce tobacco use. These efforts have included public health campaigns, increased regulation of tobacco products, and increased taxes on tobacco products. Many countries have also implemented smoke-free policies, which prohibit smoking in public places like restaurants and bars. In addition, there have been efforts to educate the public about the dangers of tobacco use and to promote healthy lifestyle choices. This includes programs aimed at preventing young people from starting to smoke, and helping smokers quit through support programs and nicotine replacement therapies. Despite the mounting evidence against tobacco, the fight against Big Tobacco was not an easy one. It wasn't until the 1990s that the first major legal battles were won against tobacco companies. In 1998, the Master Settlement Agreement was signed between the four largest tobacco companies and 46 U.S. states. The settlement required tobacco companies to pay over $200 billion over 25 years to the states to cover the costs of smoking-related illnesses. The agreement also placed restrictions on tobacco advertising and marketing. The settlement was a major victory, but the fight against Big Tobacco was far from over. Tobacco companies continued to find ways to market their products to new demographics and in new forms. They introduced flavored tobacco products and e-cigarettes, which were initially marketed as a safer alternative to traditional cigarettes. The truth was, however, that e-cigarettes contained harmful chemicals and still addicted users to nicotine. It wasn't until 2009 that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration was given the power to regulate tobacco products. The FDA now requires warning labels on all tobacco products and has restricted the marketing of flavored tobacco and e-cigarettes to minors. However, tobacco companies continue to find ways to promote their products, such as through social media influencers and product placement in movies and TV shows. Despite the ongoing fight against Big Tobacco, tobacco and nicotine use remains a major public health issue. According to the World Health Organization, tobacco use is the leading cause of preventable death worldwide, with over 8 million deaths per year. Nicotine addiction also remains a significant problem, with an estimated 50 million people in the U.S. alone using tobacco products. However, there is hope for the future. Research continues to shed light on the harmful effects of tobacco and nicotine use, and efforts to regulate and restrict tobacco products are gaining traction. In addition, alternative forms of nicotine delivery, such as nicotine patches and gum, are helping people quit smoking and break the cycle of addiction. Furthermore, the rise of electronic cigarettes and vaping devices has created new opportunities for harm reduction. While the long-term effects of e-cigarettes are still unknown, they have the potential to help smokers quit and reduce the harm associated with traditional tobacco use. However, it is important to continue studying these products and ensuring they are safe for use. In conclusion, the story of Big Tobacco is a cautionary tale of corporate greed and manipulation. The tobacco industry knowingly sold a product that caused widespread harm and addiction, while actively targeting vulnerable populations such as pregnant women and teenagers. The fight against Big Tobacco has been a long and difficult one, but progress has been made. It is up to all of us to continue advocating for public health and holding tobacco companies accountable for their actions.